Before I heard the rabbi say that Alibayof said that הנשמה של האבא נמצאת פה. I know that my father, besides teaching my brothers and myself, basically respect everybody the way you want them to respect you. However, what I want to say is, because the rabbi said that my father, his neshama is over here, I'm sure that my father would want to hear this 1,000 times, if not 1,000,000 times. This has nothing to do with God. This has something to do with the impression that he left in his life. The greatest stories that I heard from my father was the fact that he was a professional soccer player. And if he's here, I want him to hear this. He always used to tell me the story about how he used to play for Maccabi Tel Aviv, a famous Israeli team in Israel, before they became a dynasty, like I'm sure most of you are aware, like the New York Yankees or whatever. He always tells me the story about how Maccabi Tel Aviv was supposed to play against Maccabi Haifa, and Maccabi Haifa couldn't make it to Tel Aviv. I don't know the reason, but my father was a minor league player for this Maccabi Tel Aviv team, which was called Maccabi Michael at the time. And I'm sure my father would want to hear this. I'm sure that he would want to make sure that he left an impression on me. Because Maccabi Haifa couldn't get to Maccabi Tel Aviv, they brought up the youngsters, which was my father and a whole bunch of other guys that played for the minor league system. And these kids, 16, 17, 18 years old, played against the Bogrim, how do you say, the major league team of Maccabi Haifa. And they scored supposedly 9 goals against the major league team, these little youngsters. And the week after, they took these 5 ball players and they put them into the 5 starters of Maccabi Tel Aviv, which made Maccabi Tel Aviv a famous team. I'm sure you know a lot of the names, like Shia Glazer and Merimovich and Rivner, Zvika Studensky, Bendori, famous goalie. And if my father was going to leave an impression in his life, he always wanted to leave that impression, because he always told me that scoring a goal in front of 100,000 people was the greatest feeling he ever could imagine. If my father's here, I want him to hear that he definitely left this impression on me. I know it's outside of scriptures, it's outside of Dat, it's outside of Din B'Cheshbon, but this is something he always wanted me to remember, that he was And he was something special. He tells me that he used to walk on the, kids used to run and just try to touch him. As a celebrity, as someone that was famous in Israel. On top of that, I want to add that he was part of the Haganah in Israel. He was part of the group that tried to make sure that, I remember there was the name of the ship, Altalena. He was part of the group that tried to make the ship Altalena reach the shores of Israel. It was unsuccessful, but it wasn't successful. Yeah, it was unsuccessful, but they sat on the beach all night trying to make sure that the ship was going to reach the shores. So he had a great part in liberating Yafo and doing some things that I don't know